and good. Oh, we are back again. So, an interesting happened. I was watching, I guess, a reaction video, and they were talking to MAGA folks who regretted their vote. And one of the people, at one point, they said, I hope you have the day that you voted for. And initially I thought that was really funny and kind of like one of those zingers. But then I took a step back because at some point during this, I don't know, during this video, they had a section, with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he was debating with, I think it's Ben Shapiro, and they were talking about, some LGBTQ stuff. And he asked him, Neil asked Ben Shapiro, he said, why? And it took him aback for a minute, because he was like, what do you mean, why? Neil said, why do you care? He said, why do you care? If we live in a country of freedom, why do you care how somebody spends or exercises their freedom? Why does it bother you so much? Ben Shapiro couldn't answer. He was stuck. And that got me to thinking, okay? The one thing that I have noticed that every single MAGA person that regrets their vote, every single one that regrets their vote, they have something in common. They have a very myopic view or tunnel vision, if you will, on one or two issues. And that's it. That's their whole identities. One or two issues. They have this tunnel vision. Okay? They don't consider the balance of these issues. Like, for example, immigration. They don't think that immigration can affect the cattle farmers, which will affect the price of beef, or affect the vegetable farmers and affect the price of the rest of our groceries. They don't think about those things, okay? They also don't pay attention to the other policies, okay? Where they see this one issue, they don't see the 10 bad things that it touches or it can affect, okay? Because MAGA, you all think that Trump is one of you, if you're MAGA. But what you don't understand is that Trump does not think that you are one of them. Them being the rich, okay? Because you'll notice you haven't heard any rich MAGA folks complaining about their vote. They're real quiet right now because he told them he was going to make them money. And he has. He's made them a lot of money. Okay, whether it's from his Bitcoin or insider trading on oil stocks, like, hey, we're going to do sanctions. Hey, we're going to take sanctions off tomorrow. Do your trades accordingly. Okay, that's what's happening in the background. Okay, what he didn't tell the rest of you MAGA folks is that all this money that the MAGA folks are making was going to be at your expense. Okay, you lost your hospitals. They don't care about your rural hospitals because they've got private doctors. They've got their private health care and their private doctors. So they don't care about your hospitals, okay? They don't care about your schools that you're losing to vouchers because they're already got their kids in private schools. Now you're just helping to pay for their kids to go to private schools, okay? And they don't care about your gas prices because all those rich folks are driving Teslas that they got from Elon Musk. So they don't care about your gas prices. And big oil is getting their comeback. They're getting their payback for all the rich folks buying Teslas. If y'all don't see the play, you don't know how to follow the money. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to try to keep this short, because there are some other things that I really wanted to touch on, like, for example, immigration. That immigration one, you really didn't think this through. If they were really serious about immigration, it's not just one thing. It's not a one thing fixes all. You've got to do, that's why they use that word comprehensive. Like, for example, Why don't we allow the embassies to accept applications for immigration and asylum? So somebody that's in Colombia or Brazil or Argentina, they don't have to come all the way to the border to get an approval or a denial. They could get that in their home country. But you know why they won't do that? I'll tell you why. You follow the money. It's because they've got all this money invested in these private jails and these $1 million warehouses that they're buying to house, to use for ICE, for immigration. You don't see the play? You don't see the trick bag? Well, that's part of it. So tomorrow I'll finish this video up tomorrow because I don't want it to go too long. But some of the things I want to talk about is this new military draft registration law. Lord have mercy. You want a good listen, you make sure you tune in tomorrow for my bonus Saturday. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching my video, and make sure you have a good afternoon.